Welcome to Know Before You Go for the Fourth Sunday of Lent. My name is Father Brian Walker. We have an interesting gospel today. We hear about two sons and the father's inheritance. And what is it that God is trying to tell us today? How many families do we have just like this one? And I'm sure that many of you know families like this one. Here we have children squabbling over inheritance, something that they didn't earn, something that they didn't work for, but something that the law says will be rightfully theirs. And the question is, when is this supposed to take place? According to the law, it's supposed to take place after the father has gone on to his heavenly reward. The problem is that too many families wind up fighting over these inheritances because some people want to get what's rightfully theirs right away. I remember years ago driving to preach somewhere, and I don't even remember what state it was. And I remember I had the radio on and some evangelist came on, and she proclaimed loudly, "Lord, if there is anything in the universe that is rightfully mine, please let me have it." Now, I have to tell you, I was scandalized by these words. Maybe it's my own thought, but I don't think that anything is rightfully mine. I only have for a short while what God has given me. And I say only a short while because I came into the world with nothing. And as far as I can tell, I have never seen a U-Haul behind the hearse. In other words, I can't take it with me. And for this reason, we have the laws about inheritance that we have. But some people, they just don't want to wait. And that's it. That's all. They just don't want to wait. And to teach this as a minister to the people of God, I think is a grave error. We have to teach the humility of God and accept what comes as gift from God. So the one brother asks for his share. And I don't know why he called it his share. What work did he do to say that it was his share? At any rate, the father accedes and gives him what he feels is his son's share. And he then moves out on his own. Those of you who are parents that have children coming of age, I'm sure that you can identify with the father. You know how they get a little grown, but not completely, and they still want to be on their own. They feel like they can make it until the bills start to roll in, and then they wonder how they can make ends meet. The young son squanders everything because he's living beyond his means. It's kind of like being a little kid again, and you don't think that somebody has to go out and buy food. You just have to open the refrigerator or the pantry door. Stuff is always there, and you never have to worry about a thing until you have to keep them both stocked. When it runs out, there's no money, and you can't stock anything, and you begin to go hungry. This is what happens to the young son. It's amazing how hard reality can hit when your stomach is growling. And the problem with this is that sometimes people, especially young people, get filled with pride, and they don't want anyone to think that they've made a mistake. The young son doesn't want to return to his father, but he knows that he doesn't have a choice. It's either return home or stay and die. He realizes that these are consequences, and he's willing to accept them. He already has his speech prepared, and he's ready to face his father. He knows in his heart that his father is going to be upset. He's ready to face up to what he has done. But then there is a pleasant surprise. The father is not angry, and he is accepted back with open arms. The one who gets angry is the brother. He doesn't understand why the Father has taken him back when he has done such stupid things in his life. The Father then has to talk to him. He explains the reason for the way that he acts, because he loves his Son. The same would apply to him too, but he doesn't have to worry about it. Why? Because he has the Father's love. He's been there all the time, but he just doesn't realize how much the Father loves him. The Father tries to make him understand that love is unconditional and that he must love his brother unconditionally. It's not easy convincing him. It isn't always just the way that things are. Some people have a hard time convincing others that they should forgive. But how often is it that we want to forgive? Not very often. But somehow we always want to be forgiven. We come to the point where we judge one another. But at the same time, we don't want to be judged. God is there to show us the way. As we continue to walk these days of Lent, may we not only understand that God is forgiving, but that we have to learn to forgive as well. So many of our troubles in the world today are because no one wants to forgive what has happened in our lives. Some people will even hold grudges from the past, and some with great prejudice. If you want to be forgiven, then learn to forgive. May God truly strengthen us, and may our prayers during this time of Lent lead us in the right direction. Amen.